Hello, welcome to my very first weekly update. So I plan on updating everybody on my reading and writing. I don't expect this to be like an amazing hit or anything. This is more of an accountability tool for me to continue to keep working at this weekly. And if you happen to find it interesting, then cool. I would love to hear some feedback. And with that said, I'll say some caveats. I'm not a super fast reader. I have too many hobbies to dedicate too much time into reading. I try to read every day, but I also like to play video games. I like to play guitar. I like to write music. I like to write. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that take some of my focus away. But with that said, I do try to read a little bit every day. And with that, I will start into a reading. Reading this week, I am currently reading Rhythm of War, and I read chapters 78 through 85. So, I am enjoying Rhythm of War. I enjoying it quite a bit. If I had to rank it with the other books in the series so far, it would be the bottom, and that would be Words of Radiance on top, Way of Kings next, Oathbringer after that, and now Rhythm of War. But with that said, I still like them all. So far this year, I've read 5 books, I think, and 3 of them were the other books in the Stormlight archive. So that's kind of like 3 books a piece on each of those books because they are massive. But yeah, the other books I read this year, besides the Brandon Sanderson novels, was Mockingjay. For some reason, I read the first 2 books like right whenever they came out, but I never got around to reading Mockingjay. So I was like, you know what? I'm reading really big 1,000-page novels. I need something a little smaller. Let's finally read this Mockingjay book, because I've had this Mockingjay book on my shelf for a long time and I just never read it. But now I have. And my other book I read, I actually did enjoy Mockingjay, by the way. It was actually pretty cool. And the other book I read was Pup by a friend of mine called Damian Casey. And it was a very interesting book. I had fun reading it. But yeah, I'm getting close to the end of Rhythm of War. I'm 960 pages around there in it out of 1,200 something. So I'm getting close to the end and enjoying it. So I will be ready for book 5 at the end of the year. So once I'm done with Rhythm of War, I plan on reading Warbreaker, because that is a random book that I missed. I read the other novellas in between the other books, but for some reason I have not read Warbreaker yet. So after I read Rhythm of War, I plan to read Warbreaker. Then I plan to start a Game of Thrones. I really loved the series a lot. Season 8 definitely had some downfalls. We all know this. But I've never read the books, and I really want to give them a chance after this. So I'm excited to get into that after Warbreaker. For Brandon Sanderson, I've read the first Mistborn trilogy and the novellas, and now I'm almost done with all the Stormlight Archive. So, if you have any book recommendations after I read these books, let me know. That would be awesome. I'm not super well read. I plan to do a video on my reading journey at some point. So yeah, any recommendations would be awesome. I do plan to get into Era 2 of Mistborn as well. I plan to read all the secret projects. I have those. They're on the bookshelf behind me that you can barely see. But yeah, I am also interested in Malazan. Seems like something that would be really cool. But yeah, if you have any other recommendations that are kind of in those lines, let me know. Like I said, I'm not the fastest reader because I have way too many other hobbies and things along with full-time job. So I will try to get to them eventually, but I would love to hear recommendations with why you would recommend them to me. And with that said, I'm going to move into my writing. Writing this week, I wrote 2 chapters in my novel and then a prologue. I randomly had like a first sentence pop into my head, and I'm like, this story needs to start with this sentence. I'm writing a prologue right now. And so I went back and wrote the prologue. I started this book writing chapter 1. I'm now 24 chapters in. So I wrote chapters 23, 24 plus a prologue, and those were 4,017 words. It's not the highest word count I've had in a week, but it's not the lowest either. So I am pretty happy with that. I will be a lot happier to get a lot more words done, but I'm 24 chapters in. I'm really liking how it's turning out so far. The tentative title right now is The Light in the Shadows. The series is the Stonefall Saga, and I will be really excited to show you more eventually. Let me know what you want to know about it. That would be really cool. But yeah, like I said, I do not expect this to interest a ton of people, but if you happen to find it interesting and you made it this far, let me know. Let me know your book recommendations, what you want to know about my novel, and yeah, I'd like to talk to you all in the comments, and I will see you next time.